Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into daily conversation. Not just the hello, goodbye stuff. We're moving past that to get into the practical phrases, the ones that really make you sound, well, confident and competent in English.
That's exactly right. So many learners, they kind of get stuck, don't they? They know grammar, maybe lots of words, but getting that real flow in conversation, that's different.
Right.
It's about the social side of talking, how to sound thoughtful, respectful, basically how to sound like you know what you're doing when things get a bit tricky.
So that's our mission today, really, to give you those shortcuts. We did a deep dive into some material that's all about practical dialogue, like a lesson focused purely on tools you can use every day.
Yeah.
And the idea isn't just, memorizing phrases like a parrot.
No, definitely not.
It's about understanding the why, the intent behind them, the effect they have on people.
Exactly. We're looking at the mechanics of politeness and clarity. These phrases, they're like tools that let you manage the conversation, instead of just reacting.
Okay, I like that, managing it.
Yeah. When you have the right words for, say, a misunderstanding or asking for help at work or even just saying thanks properly, you instantly feel more confident.
Right.
And you come across as someone who's, well, careful and competent. It doesn't even matter if the topic itself is super complex.
Okay, let's unpack that, starting with maybe the biggest hurdle for almost everyone, dealing with miscommunication.
Yes.
That moment where you just didn't catch something. It causes so much anxiety, right? People freeze up or just nod along awkwardly.
Oh, absolutely. It usually happens in a couple of ways, doesn't it? Either, the place is noisy or someone's talking really fast, maybe the connection's bad.
Yeah.
So you literally just missed the sounds. That's that challenge of speed and noise.
We've all been there. Like a loud cafe, someone rattling off points in a meeting, or that dreaded Zoom freeze where you missed the one important word. And the instinct for so many is just panic. Or pretend you heard it.
And pretending is, well, it's the worst thing you can do, really.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because, okay, maybe it saves you feeling awkward for like 2 seconds. But long term, you're lost. You're missing information now. The fix, according to the material we looked at, is that key phrase for repetition. Could you please repeat that?
Okay, could you please repeat that?
Inquiry.
It sounds simple. Almost too simple. Why? The full phrase. Why not just like repeat or what?
Well, the construction itself, that's where the social intelligence comes in. Think about it. You start with could.
Yeah.
That's much softer, more polite than can, or, just barking, repeat.
Okay.
Can you repeat that?
Can sound a bit like an order, almost like you're challenging them. But could you repeat that? That's a genuine request.
Yeah.
It makes the interruption feel smaller, less demanding.
Right, okay. So that please isn't just being extra nice, it's actually doing linguistic work.
Yeah.
It keeps the conversation smooth, on the right level. Exactly. And what's really interesting is the sort of unspoken agreement here. When you use that polite version, you're kind of subtly saying the problem wasn't them or you not paying attention. It was external, the speed, the noise, whatever. The dialogue we reviewed really emphasized this. It shows that the listener is attentive and genuinely interested in understanding them. You're not being rude or distracted.
Okay, that's a real confidence booster right there. You're not admitting failure. You're actually being professional by taking action to get clarity. You shift it from like internal shame, oh no, I missed it, to external control. Okay, I need that information clearly.
Precisely. It respects their effort, but it also solves your problem. Now, the second kind of miscommunication, this one's maybe even more frustrating.
What's that?
It's when you heard all the words perfectly fine, but you have absolutely no idea what they mean.
Oh, right. Jargon, acronyms you don't know, maybe some idiom that just flies over your head.
Exactly. And asking them to repeat it won't help at all, will it? Because you need the idea explained, not just the sounds again.
So we need to distinguish then.
Yeah.
Missing words versus missing the whole concept.
Yes. And if you've missed the concept, the polite phrase is different. It's, I'm sorry, I don't understand.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Short, direct, doesn't blame anyone.
Yeah.
But I can see learners feeling a bit hesitant, like admitting I don't understand feels like showing weakness.
It can feel that way, yeah.
So how do you follow it up so the conversation doesn't just die right there?
Right. The follow-up is absolutely crucial because that's what turns it from admitting weakness into actually showing you're still engaged.
Yeah.
You have to pair it immediately with a request for more information. Like, could you explain it again?
Oh,
Or even better, something more specific. Could you explain what you mean by, and then you mention the specific term or idea?
oh, okay. So by asking for something specific, you prove you were listening.
Exactly.
You know where the confusion started. It's targeted.
Think about the alternative. If you just say, I'm sorry I don't understand, and stop. Well, what's the speaker supposed to do? Talk louder, slower, change the subject completely. They're guessing.
Right.
But if you say, sorry, I don't quite follow, could you explain the part about the Q4 restructuring plan again? Boom. You've given them something concrete to work with. You've asked for more depth, not just like more volume.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I think that's a really key takeaway here. The source material we looked at really stressed how important it is to feel comfortable asking for clarification when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that comfort comes from just having these phrases ready.
Yeah.
Knowing what to say makes asking feel less like an anxious reaction and more like, a planned move in your conversational strategy.
You're basically modeling good communication yourself, aren't you? Taking that moment to pause, ensure everyone's on the same page. It actually makes the whole interaction better for both people. It's not rushed. It's thoughtful.
Okay, that's really helpful for general conversation. Now, let's shift the context a bit. What about environments where clarity and the way you phrase things are maybe even more important, like the workplace?
Right. Professional settings, the stakes can feel higher there.
Yeah, the language has to shift, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From just casual chatting to more professional requests.
Precisely. It's not just about understanding anymore. It's often about collaborating on tasks, projects, getting things done. When you need help with something work-related, especially if it takes someone's time or expertise, the language needs to be more formal, more explicit. We can't just be super casual about it.
So just saying like, hey, can you help me with this? Might be okay if you're asking a friend to, I don't know, carry a box.
Sure.
But if you need input on a report or technical help that takes real time and skill, you probably need something a bit more substantial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the key formal request phrase identified in our deep dive was, I need your assistance.
Assistance,
Okay.
not just help. Why assistance? Let's dig into that choice of word.
Well, assistance just carries a bit more weight, doesn't it?
Mhm.
It sounds more formal, more professional. It suggests the task is, defined, maybe technical.
Right.
It elevates the request. It implies you respect that what you're asking for requires effort, maybe specific skills. Help can mean almost anything, lifting something heavy, lending $5. Assistance clearly frames it as a professional interaction.
Okay, that makes sense. And you mentioned structure before. It's probably best used within a clear sentence, right? Not just barking, I need your assistance.
Oh, definitely not. Politeness is still key. So you frame it properly. For instance, excuse me, colleague's name maybe? I need your assistance with the final budget report.
Got it. So softens the interruption, acknowledges their time. Then the clear request with assistance and then specifying the task, that leaves no room for confusion.
Exactly. It's clear, respectful, and efficient.
But let me push back on that slightly. What about, say, a really informal workplace? Like a fast-moving startup where everyone's super casual with each other. Wouldn't constantly saying, I need your assistance, sound a bit stiff? Maybe even, I don't know, slightly robotic or condescending.
That's a really good point. It's about reading your room, isn't it? Register control.
Yeah.
So yes, while I need your assistance is perfect for emails, formal requests, maybe talking to someone in a different department within a very close informal team, you might adapt it.
Wow.
You could soften it slightly. Maybe, could you assist me briefly with this code? Or you could swap assistance for something like input or eyes. Could I get your input on this slide? Or could I get your eyes on the final budget?
Ah, okay. Input or eyes. That keeps it professional, but feels a bit less formal than assistance.
Right. It still signals you need their expertise, but it matches the informal vibe better. But the main point, the core lesson from the source, still holds. Being clear and respectful when you seek help is essential in professional environments. Even if you adjust the exact words, the intent being clear about what you need and respecting their time has to be there.
That ability to adjust the formality while keeping the core message clear, that really shows you're a confident communicator. Okay, so that's asking for help. What about the other side? Being a good team player means offering help too, right?
Absolutely. Offering support proactively, that's how you build goodwill. That makes people more likely to help you when you need it later. We saw two main ways to do this.
Okay.
There's the targeted offer and then the more general one.
Tell me about the targeted one first. When would you use that?
That's for when you actually see someone struggling. Maybe they look stressed or they seem stuck on something specific. You can jump in with, "Can I assist you with anything?"
Can I assist you? Again, using assist.
Yeah.
Keeps it professional.
Exactly. It's specific to them right now. It shows you're paying attention and you're genuinely offering to help lighten their load.
Okay. And the second way, the general offer.
That's broader. It helps create that overall feeling of a supportive team. You might say it at the end of a meeting or just generally to your colleagues.
That's the phrase.
Simply, let me know if you need any help.
Okay. Let me know if you need any help. More casual with help there.
Right, because it's a general standing offer. It's less formal than the targeted "can I assist?" Both are really important, though. The source material highlighted how these phrases foster a supportive environment and encourages cooperation.
Yeah, I can see that. It's about building relationships, not just completing tasks. It goes beyond just the functional, I need this, you give me that. It's about creating a culture where people look out for each other. Using these phrases shows, like emotional intelligence at work, that you get that success is a team effort.
Precisely. And that focus on relationships leads us nicely into the next area, the language around compliments and apologies.
Ah, yes. Relationship management. This is where the words you choose and your tone can have a really big immediate impact on trust and how people feel.
Definitely. Let's start with the positive, giving compliments. So important for acknowledging good work, right? Keeping morale up.
For sure. So if a colleague did really well on something, maybe they handled a tricky client perfectly, what's the go-to phrase?
The baseline effective phrase is, "You did a fantastic job."
Fantastic job. Okay. Clear, positive.
Yep. The analysis we looked at confirmed it works well for acknowledging efforts and achievements, and that directly helps build positive relationships and boosts morale. It basically tells them, "Hey, I saw your hard work and it was great."
But, sometimes fantastic job feels a bit generic. What if their success wasn't just effort, but something really clever or original they did? We need ways to be more specific, right?
Absolutely. Specificity is key for making compliments really land. So you move from praising the outcome, "fantastic job," to praising the thinking or the quality behind it. If their approach was really original, you could say, "I admire your creativity."
I admire your creativity. I like that.
Or variations like, "That was an incredibly insightful point you made," or "I was really impressed by your innovative solution."
Let's dig into that. Why does being specific like that, praising creativity or insight, work better than just fantastic job?
Well, think about it. It shows you were actually paying attention to the details. When you praise their innovative thinking, you're recognizing something unique about how they work, not just that they finished the task. General praise can sometimes feel like something you have to say.
Right, like ticking a box.
Exactly. But specific praise feels much more personal, more genuine. It tells them, "I really noticed how you tackled that problem and it was impressive."
Yeah.
That kind of detailed feedback sticks with people and it encourages more of that specific behavior you liked.
So it makes the compliment memorable and meaningful. Okay. Now, the flip side. Apologies. We all mess up sometimes. Cause delays, make mistakes. How do we apologize effectively? Does the phrase need to match the mistake?
Oh, absolutely. Nuance is critical here. You can't use the same apology for being 5 minutes late as you would for, say, losing a major client.
Right.
We can basically think of apologies in two main levels based on the material. First, apologies for logistical issues, things that disrupt time or workflow but aren't catastrophic.
Okay, like being a bit late for a meeting, sending an email to the wrong person by accident, maybe a typo in a document. Minor stuff.
Exactly. For those kinds of things, the standard professional phrase is, "I apologize for the inconvenience."
Inconvenience, okay. That word seems important.
It is. It precisely fits the scale of the problem. It's formal enough, professional, and it focuses on the impact on their time or ease.
And the insight here is that this phrase shows you respect other people's time and understanding. You're acknowledging your action caused a hiccup, a small cost to them.
Right. Now contrast that with the second level, a significant error. Maybe you missed a major deadline that caused problems, or you mishandled something sensitive, or made a mistake that genuinely damaged trust.
Okay, bigger stakes.
Much bigger. And in that situation, just saying, "I apologize for the inconvenience" would sound, well, awful.
Yeah, Totally inadequate. Like, you don't get how serious it is.
Exactly. It would feel cold, dismissive. When the mistake hits the relationship, hits the trust, you need language that shows sincere regret, real accountability.
So what's the phrase for that? When it's serious.
You need something much more heartfelt. The key phrase is, please accept my sincere apologies.
Sincere apologies.
And you'd often follow it up with something like, I take full responsibility for that.
So what's the main difference in impact between inconvenience and sincere apologies?
It's all about conveying sincerity and acknowledging the gravity. When you use the word sincere, you're signaling, I understand this was serious, and I am genuinely sorry about the impact. The second phrase, a sincere one, shows a real desire to make amends, not just to note that something went wrong.
That makes sense.
And that sincerity is absolutely vital if you want to rebuild trust after a big mistake. The language shows you're willing to own it and fix it.
So it boiled down to use inconvenience when you respect their time for minor issues, and sincere apologies when you need to show you respect their trust after a bigger issue. Matching the language to the emotional weight is key.
Absolutely. It's sophisticated communication. Which brings us neatly to our next section, really. The language of connection gratitude and how all this builds confidence.
Right. Because using the right apology, the right compliment, it all connects back to building stronger relationships. And gratitude is a huge part of that.
It really is. And just like we talked about assistance versus help,
Yeah.
we need to think about thank you. We all say thank you. It's basic politeness, but
Yeah.
sometimes someone really goes out of their way for you, especially at work. We need something stronger, more elevated for those moments.
Okay, so what's the phrase for expressing that deeper gratitude?
The ideal phrase, especially following up on receiving assistance, is, I appreciate your assistance.
Yeah, I appreciate your assistance.
Yes.
Okay, connects back nicely to the request. Why is appreciate more powerful here than just thank you?
Well, thank you sort of acknowledges you received something beneficial, like, thanks for the coffee.
Right.
But I appreciate your assistance goes deeper. It acknowledges the value of what they gave you, their effort, their time, their expertise. It says, I recognize you stopped what you were doing and used your skills to help me, and I value that contribution.
Ah, okay. So it's not just acknowledging the result, I got helped, but valuing the process and the effort they put in.
Exactly. It's gracious, it's respectful, it shows maturity, it reinforces that professional relationship you started building when you asked for assistance in the first place.
It completes the loop, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Ask respectfully, using assistance, acknowledge their work, and then thank them respectfully, using appreciate your assistance.
Precisely. Using language like that consistently is what builds a reputation for being, articulate, thoughtful, a good colleague. You're using words to build bridges.
Now, a practical question learners might have. Once I get good at these more formal phrases, I appreciate your assistance, I need your assistance, I apologize for the inconvenience. Do I have to use them all the time? Like, can I ever just relax and say, thanks or sorry again? Or will I sound like a textbook forever?
No, definitely not. That's where practice comes in. The goal is to use these formal phrases consciously, intentionally, until they become second nature, internalized. Once they're automatic, once you understand the underlying principle, valuing time, showing respect, being clear, then you can adjust the register depending on who you're talking to, how well you know them.
So it's like learning the formal rule first so you know why it works, then you can choose when to be less formal.
Exactly. But even when you shorten it, say, to a colleague you know well, hey, thanks so much for your help on that budget thing. I really appreciate you taking the time. You're still carrying the essence of the formal phrase. You're still specific. You're still acknowledging their time and effort. The core meaning remains.
Which brings us right back to the closing advice from the source material.
Yeah.
The absolute importance of just incorporating these phrases, using them again and again, repetition.
That's the bridge. That's how it goes from being a list of phrases in your head to just how you talk.
Yeah.
And that's the crucial synthesis, I think. These phrases, they aren't just about language, they're tools for building confidence. The source explicitly says the more you use these phrases, the more confident you'll become in your English-speaking abilities.
Because confidence isn't just some vague feeling, is it? It comes from knowing you have the right tool for the job. When you hit one of those tricky moments, confusion, needing help, needing to apologize, and the right polite phrase just comes out smoothly, that is confidence in action.
Yes.
Your brain feels efficient, you feel in control, and the anxiety just drops.
It really does. And it helps you model that clear, unhurried, thoughtful communication style we've been talking about throughout this whole deep dive.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the main areas we covered today. We mapped out the language for clarity when there's miscommunication.
Right, knowing when to ask for repetition versus explanation.
Then we look at professional politeness, how to ask for and offer support effectively in the workplace, using phrases like assistance.
Mm-hmm. Building that supportive environment.
Then the crucial language of relationship management, giving specific, meaningful compliments, and choosing the right level of apology, like inconvenience versus sincere apologies.
Matching the language to the situation, yeah.
And finally, wrapping it up with expressing gratitude respectfully with, I appreciate,
Mm.
and how practice builds confidence.
And using this kind of structured, polite language consistently, it's really a fast track to being seen as articulate and thoughtful. Doesn't matter if the conversation is simple or complex, you just come across as someone who handles communication well.
It gives you control, right? You
Yeah.
stop just reacting to conversations and start actively managing them.
Absolutely. And, building on that final advice from the source, just keep practicing until it's automatic. I want to leave listeners with a final thought to mull over. If all these phrases we've discussed are tools to help you get clarity and smoothness from others, maybe flip it around. Ask yourself, how much better could your own communication be if you deliberately tried to bring that same level of clarity and unhurriedness to how you speak?
Ah, that's interesting. So use the intentionality behind these phrases, the politeness, the clarity to influence your own speaking style. Slow down a bit, be more deliberate.
Exactly. Don't rush. Make your own speech as easy to understand as you want others' speech to be for you. Clarity really does start at home, so to speak.
Use the tools, practice them, make them yours, and feel that confidence grow.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Keep practicing, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.